Hey guys, what's going on? It's Cheney 180, and
The Fallen Fed. Hey guys, what's up?
you're listening to another episode of They're Not Dolls.
Episode 168. 168.
168 on that toy dial.
Live on YouTube if you've been joining us.
Yes, yes. I could see the chat is already popping. I like that. I like what I see here. What do you think?
Nice. Let's
Indeed.
see. We got Adam, Thundercrow, Reject Doom, Rectangular. Adam's already in with the first comment. All right.
All right. Okay, well we've got a another very special show, right?
Yeah, we do, man. We're just rolling along with the guests,
Yeah, yeah. So we have a very, very special guest tonight.
keeping it going.
Yep. The one and only Beardy is here tonight.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, sir. Nice.
Yes, yes.
Nice.
He said he was only going to come on if he had his intro.
Yeah.
So
That is
there you go.
that is my contractually mandated entry
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, he
I had a
before
lot of writers.
yeah,
I
before we
demanded the peanut M&Ms in my
Yes.
dressing room.
And I did pick out all the yellow ones.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, I had to I was like, "Well, I don't know if I can get that track real quick." And he was just like, "Well, you better sing it then." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. I mean, I'm a diva. I need it. I need these things.
That's how you survive. All right. Well, we got a pretty fun show, quite a bit to talk about. But first, why don't you let our listeners here know who you are and what you do?
Sure. So my name is Scott Akers. I'm a toy designer and I run the paint shop at Gentle Giant Studios. I'm known as Beardy amongst many of my toy friends. It has something to do with the gigantic beard on my face. And then I am 1/3 of the design team on lines like Articulated Icons and the upcoming one that we're super excited about is Mortal Ruin.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, my day job is making toys and my side job is making more toys.
That sounds amazing. That sounds like the perfect life.
Yeah, that's a nice life right there.
Yeah, so when you're not making toys or making toys, do you buy toys?
I do. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge collector and customizer. I'm one of those people. Yeah, I've never stopped buying figures. It's been like full steam pretty much since like 80, 82, 83 when I had any kind of consciousness. Yeah, that's pretty much how it's been the whole thing nonstop.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, why don't you go ahead and maybe walk us through a little bit of your toy past here because I got a chance to talk to you earlier and you're just full of these amazing stories and whatnot.
I've been stomping around in the toy world for let's say I think about 14, 15 years, I want to say, off and on. I got my start in about 04, 05, working in the mold shop at Soda Toys. So it used to be, and I think actually, Cheney, we talked about this back at Decon, that like that used to be the way to get into like a toy company. Because you cut your teeth and work in the mold shop. And that's what I did. I started out at the making silicone molds, resin castings, and prototyping, release sculpting, and all kinds of anything at Soda Toys. Like that was what I learned how to do. Everything that I learned how to do back then.
So is that where you met Adam at?
Actually, I became friends with Adam via Whoosh. So we were actually friends online. We were internet friends before we were lifelong toy friends.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I've known him. It's got to be close to 20 years now. I've probably been friends with that guy since like '02 or so.
It's weird because it doesn't even feel like it sometimes, right? When you're
Yeah,
like,
it's a little hard because I'm actually doing the math and it's like, oh my god, I'm
it's
old.
it's been that long.
It's like suddenly your back starts hurting.
Not only that, it's so weird too that you said 20 years and then you
Yeah,
busted out with '02.
yeah,
You can kind of forget that we're already in 20.
yeah.
Because
So like
me
that's
myself, I'm
literally.
like, oh no,
I
isn't that
think
just a couple years ago?
no, honestly, I feel like it's literally. I probably met Adam in person in 2002, and we were probably like chatting forum friends or something like that just prior. So yeah, it's been a minute.
Awesome.
Yeah. So basically that was how I got started. I've been all kinds of crazy ups and downs, making toys and doing stuff like that. Soda, like I'm sure everybody's kind of familiar with, they had all sorts of crazy business shenanigans going on. But I lasted there for a little less than 4 years, and then I was freelance, just kind of uh, doing craziness for a while. Working here and there, picking up odd jobs and toys and stuff like that. And then that lasted for maybe a year or so, and then I got the call to come in and work at Gentle Giant, and I've been there forever.
Oh wow.
Yes, I've been at Gentle Giant now for 10 years, and I started out just on a bottom of the rung as a team on the paint team there, working on prototypes for Mattel and Hasbro and McFarlane at the time, and any other company you can imagine, especially over time. But from there, it's just been a crazy ride, and now I actually run the shop. So that's my gig. That's what I do.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's very awesome. We've got in the chat here, we've got
We've got
there's
Adam asking about my blood pressure, which is all kinds of
I
fun.
saw that. Yeah. Um, oh yeah, Rejective Doom was talking about that interview that Jerry had done on TNI,
Yeah.
which actually is a pretty good interview. If you guys have a chance, check it out. It's
Hmm.
about an hour long. Very informative, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty exceptional. The crew that came out of Soda Toys is they're really dynamite people, and they've gone all over and made all kinds of really cool, crazy things. There's a lot of people at Gentle Giant that used to work at Soda Toys, and there's all sorts of cool things that we have brought forward with us that have led into the figures that we design and do now. And it started there, so it's pretty cool.
Heck yeah. So let's see. What do you think was probably some of your most favorite stuff that you worked on?
Um, Funny that you should ask. I was actually trying to think of some of that stuff earlier today, and probably the three things that I'm most excited about, or that were the most gratifying in the more recent time, I can't talk about them. What a tease, right?
Yeah.
All right.
There are some other really cool things that I can talk about. That's like some of the neat things. My very first Marvel figure that I got to do was kind of a neat milestone for me. I did the Marvel Select Rhino. Maybe I don't know. That's got to have been 6 or 7 years ago or something like that. Now, I did get to do the very first Star Wars Black figure,
Oh.
which was pretty cool. We actually were involved in the pitch of that toy line at Hasbro, like Hasbro pitching to Hasbro before that toy line was a real thing. And yeah, Renee, Adam, and myself are all the same three people that worked on that figure at Gentle Giant for Hasbro. So we did the pilot Luke figure, the X-wing pilot Luke figure.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, that was the very first Hasbro Star Wars Black figure, back when the articulation scheme was going to be a little bit different, and the paint jobs were going to be a little bit different, and they were even talking about having metal accessories and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Ernie
that was we. We did the first one. I did the very first Star Wars Black figure. Yay!
Ernie has a really cool story about that X-wing pilot Luke, right, Ernie?
You son of a. That's the only thing I thought of too, right when I heard it. I'm like,
Nice.
oh, really? Here's the pitch for Cheney and home run. All right,
I knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, you did.
So why don't you tell him?
They had a thing. I'm an inbox collector, and
I've heard about this.
So that was my at the end of our agreement and our bet was they made me open up the Celebration Luke.
Nice.
No, it's not nice. No,
but you had to, like, that was the deal. Was that it was you lost the bet, so you had to open it?
No. Every week I had to open up a toy, put it up on our page and everything.
Nice.
I had to. Then it got even more intricate as the stakes went up.
Oh no!
And I had to start pulling from my own collection and opening from the wall because I have everything up on
not the wall
in my house. Yeah. And then when it came down to the final one, that's what everybody voted on and chose was the Celebration Luke that I had hanging up.
Yeah, well, then we share a little bit of a little Star Wars history there. That was your first Star Wars Black figure that you had to develop. So there we go. Yeah.
It's not hard to get or nothing, It's just up there with everything else. That's cool.
Nice. Yeah. That's just one of those. That's the strife you have to go through being a mint on card guy. I am personally like I am 100% open everything if I can. I wish I should have taken a picture before we got on live here. I have a stack, probably about 4 or 5 feet high in the room next to me. That is just my stack of shame of things that I just haven't gotten to opening. So
I think we're all there right now.
We're sort of mirror opposites of each other, and that like you feel bad that you had to open it, and I feel bad that I can't.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay, nice. So we've got apparently we've got all your buddies in here right now.
Yeah, Renee and Adam are both in there. Hello, fellas.
Yeah. So why don't we talk about some Mortal Ruin then? Well,
yeah. I'm super excited to get as much information as I can out there. It's kind of cool. You guys get to talk to us literally as this thing is being developed. Like I have development work and paint work and story writing and all kinds of stuff like that, like happening now, so yeah. So this is our second sort of foray into our own individual or independently produced IP. This is our second round of trying to take an independent toy line and get it out there into the world. The main sort of bones of this project are, as I see it, is like it's kind of a love letter to any of the sci-fi military stuff that we've all kind of grown up with and loved. So if you're into G.I. Joe or Blade Runner or Metal Gear Solid or Resident Evil or Mad Max or any of those kinds of things, it's like we're trying to draw inspiration from all of those things and put them into one sort of fun, cool, cohesive toy line that you can very easily buy into and have it, be cohesive and integrate with all the other figures that we work on. Or you can go whole hog into the story of the thing and really appreciate it on its own level, because that's what we're doing. I mean, it's going to be pretty cool in that way.
Heck yeah! It's not the figures look incredible, or at least the prototypes.
Yeah,
I should say.
Yeah. The 3 figures that were teased that we kind of put out there right now, those are meant to be our first foray into like the line. So even those, as cool as they are, that's just kind of just the tease, just like a little bit of what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're sort of seeing with those is it's like the first foray is basically a set of army builders, where each of those figures is meant to be something that if people want to buy into the line and get into it early, those are going to be available in a way that makes them affordable so that you can build a little team or a little squad. And then from there on, what we're really hoping to do is make every character that we can into an army builder so that you'll have an option of to be able to buy the figure as a character or keep it as, you know, part of a little squad, so that no single figure is ever just one thing by itself. It's meant to be like an incentive thing to build little squads of dudes.
So
So
would they be coming with like certain accessories that you could swap out to enable that?
yeah, it's going to be that kind of thing where like these initial the three figures that we have now, where it's the K Raider, the Peacekeeper, and the Frontier Corpsman. Those are all sort of meant to be a squad unto themselves. It's basically a little faceless army builder. And then yeah, you can see Adam in the chat there. It's the next tier is essentially Squad Builder Plus. What that means is it will be a figure that can be made into a squad, but it will also have a character element that makes it a standalone character that you know, will have full on cool like file card style bios and really neat story elements that sort of flesh out the world that these things all belong to. So it's sort of, once we get past the sort of initial squad building sets, what's going to be available from there is going to be sets that are meant to be like almost like a 2-for-1, where you're going to, you know, you'll be able to buy the figure and then have something else that will either come with interchangeable parts, interchangeable components that makes it into something that is either an army builder or a character, which
Nice.
is, I mean, we're trying to just create incentives to make it so that people can, you know, get into buying more basically and experiencing more, so that
Well, it's always fun when you get a figure that you can do more than one thing with. Like,
well, that's the idea, is we want to kind of bake in the idea of army building and squad building and customizing, really, because like that's my longest love with toys, is making
well,
customs.
well, that's like what the super cool thing was with the AI is like
Yeah,
you could just pop everything off and move
yeah,
it around however you see fit, you know, and just
yeah.
kind of have fun with it. Just go
Yeah,
ham
that's
on it.
the cool thing you get when you get people who design toys making toys like this, is we get to go in and sort of make up the rules of how we want to present it to the world. And so like one of the things that I really like to do is I love getting like random little kind of like grunt figures or random little figure, and then once I kind of have it and I've been messing with it for a while, kind of chewing on it for a while, I'll end up customizing it and turning it into something like just a little bit different. And then it gives you a little bit of, you know, cohesion, but then also diversity in your collection. So
Yeah,
that's really what we're trying to incentivize, because we want to encourage people to, you know, buy them, play with them, pose them, photograph them, but then also customize them and tweak them, and you know, throw them into your dios, throw them into your other series. You know, have Batman kick the crap out of them, do all
yes.
that. It'll be fun. It's going to be like,
That's usually one of the main things that you want to do with any kind of army builder is okay, they're all going against Batman or they're all going against
yeah. I mean,
Wolverine.
that's kind of the idea. Is we want these to be, because we work on so many other toy lines in our day jobs, like because we do so much other stuff for other companies. Um, we we kind of know how to create that cohesion, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We know like how to sort of hit those sort of style cues with the toy line, and that's very much a part of our aesthetic, is we want these to be able to work with your Star Wars Black figures and your SH figure arts and your Mezcos and Marvel Legends and stuff like that. We want them to be able to, you know, blend in seamlessly with those toys, but also just be their own thing.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, man. It's honestly, it's pretty cool. It's a really like, it's a crazy pleasure to get to make this stuff for people.
Oh, I
Like
bet.
that's ultimately why I'm into it, is, you know, toys make people happy. So like, let's get them out there.
Well, it's just awesome because you know, on your, like you said, your day job is you make toys, and then
Yeah.
your side hustle is you make toys.
Yeah. I mean, this is like literally the difference between this kind of thing and the day job, is that there's no approvals, there's no having to deal with any kind of like IP stuff or licensing things. It's all just completely creating something from the ground up and making it, you know, as cool and as affordable and as fun as we can.
Awesome.
Very similar to what we did with AI, but just different in a way that's kind of new but also familiar.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah, I just can't wait to get them all done.
Yeah, no, me either. I just can't wait to get my hands on some of them.
Yeah,
I can't wait to
yeah,
see them all painted up too. That's going to be really cool.
yeah. So can Adam. Tell that guy to leave me alone. I got a lot of paint work to do.
That's what he was saying in the chat there.
Yep.
Ernie, you got any questions for this man right here?
No questions. But this Mortal Ruin stuff that you guys are doing is amazing. Although you even said faceless characters, it's funny
Yeah.
how you guys see them as faceless because you're sculpting and making these, and that's how you want them to appear. And I totally see a face there though on all three of them, which is
Yeah.
amazing. You know what I mean? Like you can put it as faceless, but yet I can definitely see a face. Like maybe this dude has a normal face, this guy has a messed up face, like how you're saying the
Honestly,
horror part of it, which is great, man.
oh
They
yeah,
look
no, it's gonna
amazing.
be the plan right now for a lot of this kind of stuff is, I mean, because I actually still get to be kind of giddy about it because even though these aren't painted, I know what they look like, you know.
Yeah.
So when it's all going to be revealed, I'm going to be interested to see what people think about it, and how they respond to it. But there's going to be little things, especially on some of them, that will actually make it so even though they are an army, even though they are a squad, there's going to be things that can make it so that they're not all necessarily the same piece, the same kind of deco. So that like some of them will have um, little tiny like maybe paint variations and things like that that make it so even though it's a squad of basically the same figure in a set of 4 or 5, there will be individuality amongst that squad, very much in the same way like how it worked with the Pink Skull Squad.
Very nice. Yeah,
You
that's
guys
cool.
you can get them, but then you can make them somewhat individualized. We're shooting for that kind of thing, especially on some of the later figures, um, in a pretty cool way. But yeah,
That's exciting.
I'm lucky. I know what they look like already, and I don't even have to paint them.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's very awesome. Yeah.
Like,
so they're going to be all very neon colors, like very like early '90s bright neon.
oh yeah, they're gonna be like the sort of oozy mutants of like the early '90s. Of you guys remember that when like everything kind of went Ninja Turtles on us
Uh-huh.
as we were kids? Like even GI Joe was brightly colored, and
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, no, they're not gonna be like that. They're gonna
Oh.
be
Oh, okay.
it's gonna be raw, realistic. It's gonna be there will be color. I'm a big proponent of having those little pops of color in and amongst a drab thing that makes it really kind of be a detail that jumps out. But um, yeah, what you're gonna get to see a deco that reflects the world that these things live in, which is a very grimy, post-apocalyptic, hard place to live.
Nice. That sounds like an
Yeah.
amazing place I want my figures to be.
Yeah, it's gonna be it there. I mean, we really are shooting for these to be cool. They're gonna be if you're a fan of Metal Gear, or Call of Duty, if you're a fan of Resident Evil, if you're a fan of any of those kinds of things,
Well,
and you want to see that kind of thing reflected in a post-apocalyptic sci-fi military toy line, like we got you covered.
the cool thing about it for me is like I get to hear like the passion in your voice and the passion in Adam's voice about how much you guys are pouring into this and how excited you guys are.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's just like to hear and feel the passion on it. It's like, oh man, these are going to be awesome then.
yeah. I mean, like we are very very early in the process, and there's still many miles to go. But we've been chewing on this idea for probably 2 years now, at least. I know that this like we've been working on the actual figure. Renee, we've been pushing on the actual or sculpting on the actual figure for a long time. But the development of it, the idea of it, the writing and the ideas behind things is we've been kicking that around for a very long time. So you can imagine what it feels like to finally get to actually see these things entering the physical space.
Yeah.
It's becoming real and it's
Yeah.
fun.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see here. Why don't we? Let's see. The chat's is going wild right now.
It's mostly because of my two compadres in there being gooses.
Yeah.
Silly gooses.
Let's see. Just looking to see if there's anything that we missed here.
There is a lot more to the line that we can kind of get into and stuff like that, but
Okay.
it's more just a question of you know how much time you guys have.
This is true.
Yeah, there's so much there. Like what we're thinking now is we're shooting for potentially trying to launch maybe in spring, hopefully in spring. There's not really a real timeline yet, but we need to set goals for ourselves. Then the goal right now, we're likely crowdfunding, but the who knows, lightning could strike and we might not need to do that. But we're shooting for maybe 10-ish pieces altogether, with lots of incentive for people to squad build and do those kinds of things. So
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty exciting. I just wish I could talk more about what the other figures are, but I don't want to get too crazy into that stuff.
Yeah, no, you don't want to spoil the surprise.
Well, I mean,
Absolutely.
that's like you only get one bite at that apple, so
Right. Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to. Yeah. Don't
but yeah,
spoil the surprise for everyone.
it's super fun to create this stuff though. It's super fun to come up with ideas of how these kinds of things work. Um, that's been one of the things I was talking to Ernesto earlier about how long my drive is, and that's been one of the things that's sort of fun is I'll write in my head in traffic as I'm going through, and I'll think of like um, diseases and nuclear warfare and other things that like would affect a world in a way that's like this, and it's actually kind of therapeutic.
Oh,
So
I bet. Yeah.
yeah, it's super fun to create. That's kind of the weird backwards way that we develop these things is like first comes what would make a cool toy, and then you sort of build an idea around what's going to make the coolest figure, and then from there you flesh it out and you make it fit everything else. And like you do that enough times, and we actually have a pretty cool roster of stuff coming. I just cannot wait to get in front of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and take I guess, a
Oh
step
yeah, Adam.
back. Huh?
Adam wants me to tell you guys about the very first plus figure.
Okay.
Um, so the very first the next figure that we have that to sort of tease along the lines of what we've done so far is we have our peacekeeper, we have our frontier corpsman, and we have the K Raider. The next one that we're going to do is actually a character, and it's meant to be basically like a covert ops person that is both good and bad, that has walked that line between, because like the toy line has conflict baked into it. It has like the story has conflict baked into it, so that even though a lot of the figures share tooling and share parts, there's going to be incentive to have not just good and evil, but all sorts of shades of gray in there. And one of the figures, the first ones that we're going to do as a plus sort of series, is a covert ops character that is having to walk that line between basically good and evil. And I'm pretty excited about it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Rectangular has a pretty decent question right now. He said, so we can assume that you guys behind Articulated Icons will no longer be working on that figure line from here on out?
I mean, it's an assumption, but basically the way that kind of thing works from my point of view is I can sort of explain all day and all night like how the sausage was made, but we handed all that stuff off to the rest of the Fwoosh guys, and what they want us to do is, or what they want from it is completely up to them. So I have tons and tons of ideas and direction for future of that toy line, but at this point, it's very much out of my hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
You actually told me before where the original concept for the ninja came from. Would you mind?
Yeah. That original idea was, this goes back to Renee and I, sort of tooling around at Soda Toys when we were sort of scraping the bottom of the barrel on the Street Fighter toy line, and what other characters we could make, and what did our license still cover at the time. And one of the ideas that we had, because of the success with the alternate player decos on some of the other figures in the waves 1 through 4, we really wanted to do Geki, which was the ninja character from Street Fighter 1. And that was like a big push for what we really wanted to do, was just, let's do Geki from Street Fighter 1, which we actually, it turns out, didn't really have a license for. But we wanted to do him, and do him in a couple different colors. And it's like, hey, who cares if it's Geki or not? It's like, let's just make a really cool ninja figure, because that was something that, wasn't really available at the time, and people totally wanted those. So that was like the germ that became the idea of, when Renee and I would talk about ever doing anything independently, it was always a ninja. It was always a ninja. We always like kind of led with that. And then this is going back to, like probably 2006 or 7. We were kicking around ideas for that kind of thing, and that's where it started. Was we wanted to make Geki from Street Fighter 1, but we actually figured out we couldn't. And then of course, Soda Toys didn't have any money, so we weren't going to make anything. But we kind of kept going on with that idea, and then over time, we're working on stuff off and on, and developing things for other companies. And then the one of the big changes with that was the Four Horsemen having their very first sort of successful crowd fund. That was kind of a game changer for independent kind of producers like us. And we were like, well, yeah, let's plug and play. Like, we can make a ninja that's very similar in that sort of space. And then it's like, you make a ninja and deco it a few different ways, and make it, so that it works with other characters, other figures, other toy lines, and it will be successful. And guess what? It was,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really how it worked.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We have a question here from Reject of Doom. Any chance weapons in the line will be more
I assume
realistic looking?
he's referring to Mortal Ruin.
Correct.
Yeah. It's sort of difficult to say that, like, it depends on your idea of realism. Because the line sort of takes place in a think of it as like an alternate future, if you will. A lot of the old tech in the Mortal Ruin universe is still new to us. So we want to incorporate a lot of more realistic weapon designs and those kinds of things, because we're not like Disney or Marvel, where we don't have to live by, like, all guns have to look like Nerf guns kind of rule.
You don't have to make Nerf guns?
No, we don't have to. I mean, we're trying to make things in the, like, weapon wise, they're definitely going to have a sci-fi element to them, just because, like,
it goes with your story.
Yeah, it's meant to be. I mean, you don't want to just have ballistic weapons lying all around. But yeah, we are definitely going to want to have weapons that evoke an aesthetic that is real, but will have an element that also is, when it comes down to looking at the weapon from its silhouette, you want to be able to identify, like, what sort of weapon it is, but also recognize that it's something that is new to the world, so that it gives you that idea that it's not something that is of now. It's something that is from, a disparate future. So
awesome.
yeah.
And we have Mervine is in the chat now. That
Hello,
is
Mervine.
awesome. He is our number one guy, our number one fan here. He is
Nice.
our number one Toy Migo supporter.
Yeah.
So, did you hear that, Ernie? The ninjas came from Street Fighter.
That is where they came from. That is really the beginning, the germ of the idea.
Yep.
Cheney
We
has to
really
always bring it back full circle.
Street Fighter fan through and through.
Oh,
Yeah.
hardcore.
Oh yeah.
Like I said earlier, I was ready to get down on those 1/6 scale Street Fighter figures, but
Yeah, yeah. It's a shame they haven't happened yet.
yeah,
Somebody's gotta get on the PCS guys and try and trace that down.
yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit here, and let's talk about what we got in this week. Yeah,
Sure.
because not only like I said earlier, not only do you make toys, and then after you get off work, you go and make more toys, but you also buy toys.
Yes. I
So
am a customizer as well as a creator. And actually, it's funny. It's hilarious that I landed on this episode this week because it's actually been a really slow week for new toys
oh
for
really?
me. I mean, like I'm not anywhere near as crazy as Adam is, Mr. Van Wickler down there.
Mhm.
But I still, I'm a huge cherry picker as well. So I'm collecting like here and there from Marvel Legends, Storm Collectibles, SH. I cherry pick like the odd Fortnite figure here and there, and then I have some imports on the way and stuff like that. But actually, nothing this week. Nothing has actually landed. It was like cherry and new. I have some holes in my Marvel Legends collection that I'm trying to fill, and I got
Ah,
some holes filled, but nothing super exciting and new. I got a brand new spick and span garbage disposal. That's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Heck
yeah.
yeah. All
But
right.
yeah, I have my Mayfex Wolverine is still out there. Big Bad is um I had a pile of one on that one. I missed the pile of loot option that I shipped back in Christmas break. But
Oh,
yeah, so it's like I had that classic one figure in the pile of loot that it's just like, should I wait till I get something else? And then I was like, screw it. I really want to get this thing because I've got some I got a Tony Mai Wolverine casting waiting to go on that thing.
ooh.
Yeah, so I'm just like, screw it, let's get it in hand. But I still don't have it yet. It's been more than a week. So
Yeah, I finally broke down and ordered that NECA street diorama.
oh, okay.
So I ordered that. I paid and ordered for that in on Friday,
Nice.
and it says it should be here Sunday, which means Monday. So I'm
Yeah.
like, ugh.
Yeah. I have a ton of stuff that is shipping now. I've got some imports from Taiwan. I'm a huge Acid Rain collector. Like I love that's probably my favorite toy line right now.
Oh,
Um
okay.
and I'm basically like a completist with that toy line. So I have a ton of that stuff that's kind of on the way perpetually. Like you can ask me any day of the week, and I generally have like an Acid Rain figure either in hand or on the way. But yeah, this week I've just been filling holes in the old Marvel Legends collection. I'm finally completing my Lizard build a figure, if you can imagine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Whoa.
okay, so there's an explainer for this spell, and what it is I hated the tail on that figure, and
Yeah.
I had been searching for a different way to kind of complete that figure without using that tail, and I finally, thanks to one of my coworkers, I finally came up with a solution that is actually really cool. So finally, Lizard checked off the list.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pick your brain about that later then.
Oh, you guys will see it. It's laying at my desk at the shop right now.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's the thing is like that's one of the biggest things for me as a sort of creator and collector in that space is um I get really hung up on if I don't like something about the figure, I have to change it.
I could see that. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Like,
it's almost torturous. It's like when you sort of get into how the sausage is made and you can see in production how you would have done something differently, or if you know that you can just paint it like better than what it is for a mass market thing. And it ends up being a thing where I have like this mile long list of backlog customs and tweaks that I need to do.
Yeah,
And so I'm slowly chewing through it.
I've got a small pile myself of figures, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to change that or do that, and
Totally.
I get started on it, and I'm all, oh yeah, I'll get around to that one day.
Yeah, no, it's a crazy thing where I'm like, I'll buy a new figure and I'll like 90% of it, and it'll just be like, yeah, but there's just this one thing where if I could find a better head sculpt, or if I could find something else. And so that's kind of been like my sort of way of collecting things for the last few years, is like I'll cherry pick something that is almost there, and then I'll tweak it and customize it myself into making like the best representation I can get at the time. And I'm kind of doing that with most of my stuff, like most of my A-list characters. And then yeah, there's a lot of stuff I just don't buy. And you know the funny thing about that is though, is because of where I work. It's because at Gentle Giant, because I work with old man Van Wickler down there. He buys everything, so I get to play with it when he gets it in, and then I don't actually have to buy it myself.
Except Reveltech, right?
Yeah, he doesn't. We don't mention that around Adam. He
That's kind of funny because he's been bugging me like the last 2 weeks, saying like, okay, when you come down, make sure to bring that Harley figure because I want to check it out. So
there's been a couple times where it's like I'll find a Reveltech figure that is like kind of cool, and I'll see if like, oh, maybe I'll show it to Adam, see if he'll give it a shot. No, he hates 100% of them. See, look at him. Yeah, no, he hates those things. I was a Kyoto fan buying that stuff when their Fist of the North Star toy line. It was like that 8-inch toy line from back when Suncoast was still around.
Oh wow, way back.
Yeah, that was like their weird aesthetic of doing things, where it's like they would sculpt a figure, design a figure to get into like these key poses before they would actually articulate the thing. And then yeah, those when the whole Revoltech aesthetic came along, you would think like an articulation beast like Adam would be into it, but no, he's finicky.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I got in around when they had those like 4-inch Transformers and the Black Lagoon Revy.
Yeah. I really like a lot of the Revel mini figures. Like a lot of those ones have been kind of cool. Like they're fun to just like, it makes for like a really nice little desk figure or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like it's the same thing with anything else. Like I'll cherry pick that toy line and I'll buy like the odd robot or something here and there. But for the most part, it's like it's all pretty cool. But
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mr. Ernie, since you have been fairly quiet over there, what'd you get this week, sir?
I'm just letting the guests go, man. I'm enjoying the whole talk of it. No, it's a great show, man. I love when Adam was on, and now we got Beardy, and it's so cool to hear all the behind the scenes stuff and the love of toys. The reason why we do this, and you guys don't even know it. Like I'm just sitting here smiling because Cheney, of course, is just Street Fighter bugging out big time.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
he's
honestly,
biting at the chomp of how much he wants to ask about Street Fighter stuff.
I'll tell my little Cheney story. Is like we actually met a couple weeks ago during a designer con,
right?
And Cheney came up to our booth where we were showing off the stuff I had painted for my buddies at Cursed Dead, and then the prototypes for Mortal Ruin as well. And we struck up a conversation. Cheney bought me a beer, and we were just instantly friends. Yeah. So honestly, it's my pleasure to be on here with you guys and get to talk shop for a little while. It's really fun.
Yeah, I must have talked your head off for like 3 hours, man.
Oh, it was great. It was super fun. I mean, getting to share a beer on the convention floor was super cool, man. So
heck yeah.
Yeah, and our chat's blowing up with everybody.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Everybody's having their own conversation in there. So I'm loving this episode right here.
Yeah, this is the most interaction on the chat we've ever had so far.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool. They're talking amongst each other, chatting with us. All right, so I get into my week. Mervine says, did I order that Mezco Conan? No, I did not.
I did.
Still not with Mezco. Oh, so you put in that pre-order for that one? Yeah.
I'm a massive Conan the Barbarian fan, And I have a couple little like little things about the figure that I'm not like 100% sold on, but
Like the
Mezco is,
torso?
well, there's just like little design things that you're just kind of unsure about. Like I want to see, I need to know, like with the hair being what it is, like I want to know how good the neck is going to move. And
Gotcha.
yeah, there's some things where like when the figure is standing a little static, it looks a little stiff, but that's like with those kind of caveats being what they are. Thank you, Mezco. I love you for showing Conan that much love. I'm super excited to get that thing in hand.
All the
Um,
stuff he comes with too.
yeah,
Jeez.
man, they're doing such a great job with that. That toy line in general, like for them to kind of carve out this new 112 space for themselves, and then have like, you know, create a new license essentially, and create a new sort of space for people who can't get into hot toys but still want that sort of like high
Quality.
end aesthetic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're going to do a Conan that way, it's like, sign me up. I love you guys. Thank you very much.
No, it was just too veiny for me.
You gotta get that veiny stuff, man. You gotta love the veins.
Nah, it's too much. I was like, that's not my Conan.
What's your Conan? What would he be? Like what kind of
Arnold Veiny.
you want, like, so like just kind of more like polished, like more Arnold veiny?
Yeah.
What if that's something that they have up their sleeve, that like that's something that they eventually want to get to, is like a not so
Ooh.
veiny Arnold, but they need to get this, they need to get Conan out there in the world, and they need your support.
And Comic Con 2 pack with Red Sonja. Whoa. Might have to.
Or PX exclusive Arnold, just like they did not PX exclusive, but just exclusive Arnold, like they did with Keaton Batman.
Yeah. Honestly, with that one, basically it's like, yeah, whatever Conan stuff Mezco decides to put out. I'm even kind of tempted by the statue, and I'm not a statue guy. I just really love that they're showing that much love for Conan the Barbarian. Because I like it's something that I've really liked for a very long time, and it with the exception of like the older McFarlane line and then what Super 7's trying to do, like it hasn't gotten the love I feel like it deserves. So yeah, so I sunk some shekels into that one.
Yeah, no, I pass on it. Instead, I went clearance shopping this week, and our Walmart
Nice.
finally is going down. So I picked up some Legends for $4.50.
Nice.
Got some X-Men and the Spidey Wave, so that was cool. I got the Samurai Dude, the 2-pack on Overwatch to go with my ninjas.
Nice.
I got that for $9. So I returned the one that I got for $25. I was so stoked about that. I was like, here we go. This is nice. And then what else did I get? And I picked up another Vulture in the wild, because I saw a couple posts going around that there was
about the running change.
Yeah, on the wing. So I don't know which ones I have, but I'm gonna have to check that out. So I saw one laying there, so I thought I better grab this just in case.
Nice.
But that was it. And then I picked up 6 of the Cuckoos. So
nice.
That's all.
Oh wow.
Yeah, do you need some of those, Janie?
Yeah, actually I do.
No, I'm just kidding. We don't have them out here yet.
No, it was hilarious because we're in the chat, and so I work nights, and I come home in the morning and I knock out, and then sometimes I'll wake up at like 3 or 4 and check the chat, and I'm like, what? No.
I told them too. Me and Dario, 80s Baby, were talking, and Dario, and it's funny because I've been seeing that post. People right now in like Jersey and New York like are having them massively everywhere. And it's actually kind of scary because I seen some dude post in a Facebook group that I'm in that they had 6 of them just sitting there. And that was the second time that they've had 6. So it's a total of 12. Right. And then Dario was like, oh yeah, I picked up 3. I left the other 3. And I was like, oh no. I'm like, you can't delete your comment now. Cheney's going to wake up and see this. He's going to lose his stuff, man. And immediately first comment, what? No.
Nice.
And then I
have a Vulture. I have a Vulture on the way. And then I think that's pretty much it. I might try and grab a Shang-Chi. And then yeah, that's probably it for like this round of Marvel Legends right now.
Yeah,
I
the
have this luxury. I get to kind of pick and choose.
to answer the chat, the difference is the some of the wings, they have the slot on the shoulder, and
Hmm.
some are on the back
It's
of the
on the back of the
tricep.
bicep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the tricep back there. So
Yeah.
you don't really know which one you get. Luckily, the one that I have is on the tricep,
Hmm.
so I'm all good there.
It functions a little bit better.
Yeah, you can move it around and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
that's one of my main go-to things is Spidey and Spidey Rogues, and then X-Men and X-Men Rogues, and then I have a pretty tight little Fantastic Four setup, especially because the Doom that everybody's gaga over.
oh yeah, that
Yeah,
thing's amazing.
yeah, I got to get the CJS and cloak.
Oh yeah, everybody got to
Oh,
get that CJ Doom set up there.
nice.
Yeah, did you see that?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I am
Makes a
tempted.
huge difference.
I
All
am the
right.
tempted.
So what did I get this week? I can't even remember. I make sure to take pictures so I don't forget anymore.
Yeah, Adam called it. I had the only Fantastic Four one I still don't have is I skipped out on Sue Storm.
Oh, that's all right. That's the one you see everywhere right now.
Well, also she can just be on the shelf and be invisible. It's cool. No, my big thing with that one was like I don't like it when they do a half phased or like an element of the figure that is like kind of forced upon you as like, yeah, this is her one arm that is like partially invisible. But I'm talking about the older Walgreens one.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, it's just make a swappable arm or do something else because it's like I don't want to have to paint it to make it cohesive.
I
You
got you.
guys, I'm tortured. I'm tortured by my painting skills.
Oh, I would
So,
love an all clear
Yeah, I wish it was
storm.
one or the other. Like
or give
pick.
us both. Give us
Yeah,
one. Give
totally.
us the other.
Right,
Like
that's what I'm saying. I'm still
yeah,
waiting for it to come out.
make do like an
swappable
Entertainment Earth
options.
little like box set or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we went to the Asian American Expo, and they have the Anime Impulse thing there. It's like a little kind of mini convention deal within the expo. And
Yeah.
in there, they have, like a lot of like booths where they sell stuff. And the cool part that, we go every year and you get like, they have all kinds of awesome food there and all kinds of cool stuff, but they also sell toys. So that's cool too. So I picked up the Storm Collectibles Baraka because I haven't picked that one up yet. And then I got the Figma Kill a Kill Mako. And I actually have a funny story about it because I went to the booth and I scoped it out and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come back, and when I come back, maybe I'll pick it up. So we walked around for a while, we ate, and we came back. And when we came back, it was still there. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me get the Baraka, let me get the Mako, and then we're good. So I got it, and like immediately after, like the guy's bagging my stuff and I'm paying for it, another guy walks up and he's like looking for it. He's like, "Where's Mako? Where's Mako?" And I was just like, "Oh man, that's too funny." So I like me being the scumbag I am, like pull it out of the bag to like pretend look at the box, and he looks over at me and he's just like, asks the guy working there. He's like, "Do you have another one?" And he's like, "I don't think so. I think that's all I have for today, man." And I was just like,
Nice.
very horrible. I'm a horrible person, but it was a funny story. And then from Amazon, I got in the new McFarlane. What is it? DC Multiverse.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got in the Harley Quinn and the Batman Who Laughs,
Nice.
and the um the scale is they don't even scale with each other. It's weird.
Yeah, I finally actually saw randomly in Target yesterday. I saw a Harley and an animated Superman, and with the exception of her face, she totally looks like she could just slide right in as an animated figure.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be a comic version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, yeah, I came to a realization today with the McFarlane DC stuff that it's like, um, because of the scale, I'm gonna be like super nitpicky, cherry picky with that toy line. And if they come along and they make like Killer Croc or Darkseid or Doomsday or Bane or something, like a character that is sort of large and fudgeable, I'll probably be picking those up or at least giving them a second look.
Mm-hmm.
But the scale being what it is, it's like, no, you guys made them too big. Like,
Yeah, that I saw the animated Superman, and it's massive, like
yeah,
absolutely massive. Like,
they're huge.
yeah, like
Yeah.
there's a. I took a picture of the Black Series Chewbacca and that Harley Quinn, and it's like, what's going on here? I don't like. I get that it's 7 inch, but this is like bigger than 7 inch. Like,
Yeah, it's it's very much sort of like that NECA sort of Diamond Select kind of scale where some of those things will kind of work. But then even scale amongst the toy line itself is a little bit all over the place.
well, and the scale and the design, like even the design is like, one figure looks like a certain style and another looks a certain style, but they don't say that. Like,
Yeah, that's one of those things just about cohesion in a toy line. That's one of the things that makes people collect is everything going with everything. That's why GI Joe was popular. That's why Marvel Legends is popular. That's why Star Wars is popular. That's why Mega Blocks are popular because it's like everything under one roof.
mm-hmm.
And even within a sort of closed loop around the DC figures, that many styles, that many scales, kind of all at once, it sort of feels like they're just seeing what sticks. And people just want something that is already sort of fleshed out. And honestly, the scale, if I would have been so much more into it if they were smaller, because it's like, yeah, there's a couple design things here and there that I don't like, but the scale thing is really sort of a deal breaker. And I give McFarlane tons and tons of credit. Like I appreciate the hell out of that they're trying to do articulation that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the whole thing seems kind of like, huh, why did they do it that way?
Yeah, it seems like they need to kind of like narrow it in. And
yeah, that's why it's like I sort of just made that choice that it's like if they can come along and make some really nicely articulated like sort of big figures, then
mm-hmm.
I'm super game. But as it is, I'm out.
Yeah, I got the Batman Who Laughs just because there's never been a figure made of it yet. So
Yeah, and actually, of everything that they showed, that one has sort of looked the most promising as in terms of like something that is, different and sort of more aesthetically pleasing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the neck just seems kind of like there's not much of it, but I don't know. It's
Where'd
weird.
you order it from, Cheney? Because I haven't seen that one in stores yet.
Amazon.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a store.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it in from Amazon, so and then today I got in the SH Figuarts King Piccolo and Zamasu from Dragon Ball Super. I haven't been able to get those, so I'm just kind of catching up on those.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing a lot lately. It's just like catching up on stuff that I need to customize and sort of rainy day figures, really.
Yeah. Yeah, like what was it, on Friday I picked up what did I get? I got a Boom Boom and I think a binary Captain Marvel at Walmart because they're like $9 a piece. So it's like, I already have these, but I can use the binary cap for, to do like a New Mutants magma.
Nice.
So, because I've seen a lot of people doing that. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm going to try that out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cheney, I just got your picture of Harley next to Chewie. She's so huge.
Right? It's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
even
so
when
big.
You see them in stores on the shelf, like Cheney was saying, those animated ones, they remind me of, remember the old 10-inch ones that were released?
Mm-hmm.
The big ones like that, like they're really massive, and it really is weird to even see them on the shelves because they're all different sizes.
it's a shame because like she's a pretty good looking figure otherwise. I mean, there's definitely some silly like ankle stuff and kind of weird design things overall, but the figure looks like it's, it's pretty good. It's just that she's massive.
Yeah, huge. Like even standing next to the Batman Who Laughs, like it's just like they're about the same size, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, no, she should be considerably shorter. Like,
Yeah. Well, we got to give them time. Give them time to work these kinks out.
yeah, and like I said, I was like, well, I'll reserve my judgment until I actually get them in hand, and I've gotten two of them in hand, and they're big. That's
Mhm.
really all I can say is they're big. Like they're not bad. Like they have that Fortnite articulation, obviously,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
it's not horrible, but it's not like, oh man, I love this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of those kinds of things. It's you sort of get the sense doing this sort of thing that like a lot of those design choices about range of motion and how to move the thing. It seems very much like a lot of that is being done at the factory level without a lot of like design input. And that's just an assumption. It's totally not fair to those guys, but um, I want to see I want to see them change a little bit. I want to see them, kind of do something a little bit more just cohesive and scaled properly.
Yeah, agreed, agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know that we were gonna talk about that whole vulture thing, but we already tackled that. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
we,
I'm not sure which one I have coming. I wish there was because like literally that news came out like right after I had gotten my order in. Um, but whatever.
yeah, it's all
Yeah.
good.
What do you guys think about the rumored GI Joe stuff that's happening?
Ernie, what do you think, man?
I'm so for it. I just got to see it. I was stoked. I've been waiting for this for so long,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping it's 80 stuff, but
Yeah.
then that's hard because we got the Snake Eyes movie.
Yeah.
So and it's also Hasbro. So and it's
Sure.
also going to be our 6-inch line. So are we going to be getting what's been done with the Marvel Legends of, okay, this is for the Marvel universe and this is for comics. So are we going to get, okay, this is for your 80s cartoon, this is for
Mhm.
your old 80s figure, and here's for the new Snake Eyes movie, which I'm all for it. I just got to see them though.
Yeah. Yeah. You just
But
kind of
I'm
wait and see
I'm
mode.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. If the rumors are all said and true, but yeah, I really don't want to get my hopes up too high just because it's like this has been something I was anticipating just as like a huge GI Joe fan for years.
Right.
I want to know what their like what the plan is for this kind of thing. Like if they're shooting for like a sort of modern style that evokes the 80s, or if they're going pure like Sunbow cartoon. I want to see like what the articulation choices are going to be like.
Correct.
If it's going to be more like Power Rangers, or if it's going to be more like Star Wars Black, or if it's going to be more like Marvel Legends. Because even though those are all like articulated 6-inch toy lines, they all have sort of different design aesthetics to them. Um, but yeah, it's kind of crazy that the rumor got out when it did. Just because it's like it feels so long, even though like Toy Fair is right around the corner. It's like I feel like it's been years in the making to try and find out what's going on with that toy line.
Yeah, especially since we had that what was it? Those images popped up of a SDCC 6-inch Snake Eyes, and then that just kind of like withered into nothing.
Yeah, what was that? 3 years ago?
I think so. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been a cool way to approach it. Is to get a figure out there into like purely collector market, and then sort of test the waters with it.
Mm-hmm.
See what the demand would have been, and then if Snake Eyes sold well, I'm sure they could have moved a lot of other figures.
Oh,
As being a
easily.
as being a toy collector, and I've seen this discussion come up in other different places, do you feel that they should also be making a 3 3/4 line, like back to the originals, or
Um,
no, strictly 6-inch?
I collect any scale, all scale. I'm a huge fan of both. I would love to see a more collector friendly 3 3/4 inch line. Um, but and as far as 3 3/4, like I'm happy to have both. I'll buy both if they're cool. I mean, it's like if the quality's there. I know that it's like maybe from their perspective, it's probably a little bit difficult because they don't want to feel like they're cutting into their collector base by sort of dividing the community in two with scale. But
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how many people out there are like me that don't care what scale the thing is. If I'm a fan of the property, I'm going to go for it either way. But
Well, I know
um,
Scott Solo would, right, Ernie?
Yeah, he would love that and everything. Here's my thing is we had our anniversary ones
mhm,
out, and there's a ton of GI Joe out there that to
yeah,
me I feel you can go on eBay and still relatively get a collection
mhm,
of GI Joe, right? I mean, we
yeah,
had the anniversary one show up a few years ago, and those kind of sat on the shelf. So to
mhm,
me, I think that kind of pushed our 6 inch away of seeing that. That I don't think they should come out the gate. Let's go ahead and go full speed into the 6 inch and try it. And now I did see a comment from the chat as I went through all the different GI Joes that they could be doing, and I'm kind of scared with that comment that went in too because somebody said they'd be mad if it was based off the mobile game, which Hasbro has been pushing
yeah,
pictures out of.
yeah. That's one of the
That would
difficult
suck
things
because
with GI Joe in general.
that to me looks more like a toy box figure, the
Well,
the
because
mobile
from
game.
I've been fortunate enough to talk to a few, like, because I got some friends in Hasbro and stuff like that, and I've talked to them a few times over the years. And this has been a topic going back years and years with those guys of like, hey, when are you thinking about maybe trying to dust off GI Joe for 6 inch, or what are you guys doing for this upcoming anniversary? Because I think it's like 81 or 21, 22 is going to be 40-year anniversary for the toy line in general. Or no, what is it? It'll be 40 years
Uh,
from 80. Yeah, my God, I'm old.
yeah,
Um, no, but the thing that always kind of came up with that was that GI Joe, especially as we understand it, is it's a North American toy line. It doesn't have the same kind of reach as like a line like Transformers or Power Rangers, where or Marvel, where it's like they're international. They're more well known overseas. Where like GI Joe was always rebranded when the other countries use tools.
Oh, did we lose him? Okay, we lost audio there for a second. You
Well, it
there?
looks like, yeah, I got Ernie's muted.
Okay.
no, it kicked me off and rejoined me back up right now.
It's
Okay.
probably because of all that trash you were talking on GI Joe.
I know, and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't ask my question. I was going to ask the question because I didn't hear any of your answer. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
is
no, I
you
was
said
just saying that.
you were talking to your friends at Hasbro at the
Yeah,
time that you guys were doing articulated icons. Did any of them give you the side eye on the deluxe white ninja and the solitaire figure?
first of all, I have no idea what you're talking about. And second of all, no, those guys are all they're all fantastic people, and everybody they all love toys. They all want to see stuff just as bad as we do, and no, we never got any flack from anybody who worked on any of that stuff. Everybody was just excited to see some ninjas happening. So
Very nice.
um,
All right. All right.
yeah, I know, and I don't know why would they have a problem with white ninjas. I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know either,
Yeah,
or that all new solitaire figure.
Why would you even bring
yeah,
that up, Ernie? I don't know what you're talking about.
no, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not.
well, it's kind of a good base for them to go off of for their 6 inch line. I'm just saying.
Um, yeah, yeah, I can understand. Why you might make that mistake.
Correct. Correct.
No, what I was talking about with the Hasbro guys, and I don't know if anybody in the chat or anybody else might have heard it if I got dropped out too, but yeah, basically they were just saying that GI Joe as a property was more relevant in the North American in the North American space as opposed to like when we were growing up and Hasbro was utilizing tooling in other countries and stuff like that. It was always rebranded. It wasn't always Real American Hero. So Hasbro's always been kind of leery about like rolling out a whole new line because they have to sell internationally now. That's just the facts. It's not like it used to be where they can, sell to Toys R Us and Walmart. They have to sell internationally. So they were always kind of my perspective with that kind of thing was that they were always a little bit leery about a full new rollout with all that new tooling that they would have had to do for Joe at 6-inch. But that's why they've always needed to have a tie-in. So if it's going to be a movie year and Snake Eyes is going to be something that does well, especially in Asia, I think that just bodes well for the property in general. And if we get some kind of movie line where it's maybe 3 3/4 or 5 points of articulation or something like that, or even if they keep doing like well articulated 3 3/4, as long as we get something new to pull in people, I'm excited either way, just because I kind of miss having GI Joe around. Like,
I miss seeing it, to be honest. I miss seeing it on the pigs because it's
honestly, we were talking
whole...
about it earlier too. Like, how I'm not, I don't have any luck hunting anymore. Like I go to the store and it's just like the stock people are just laughing at me. When GI Joe happens, if that stuff comes out and it's in stores, like that's something I will literally go and hunt for. Like I will literally go and look for them again. And like I don't do that for any toy lines anymore.
So you'll be there right when the store opens, ready to go?
Maybe like a little bit after it opens.
Gotta let all the
yeah. I'll do like I'll kind of peruse and I'll go and I'll check out like the cereal aisle first or something, but
you're not going to be,
but yeah, no,
you're not going to be
totally
running to the toy aisle with all the 50-year-old Hot Wheels guys.
Just throwing elbows and just duking it out. And
man.
No, I'm not going to be anything crazy about that kind. I really just want to see GI Joe at retail doing successful, like so that because you guys have kids, it's like the kind of thing where somebody who's more our age, they need something to be able to like bring in a new generation of collectors and fans, and a successful movie and a cool toy line, like that's kind of all it really takes.
We had a question earlier before we got kicked off here from Thundercrow. He asked if we thought that if Rectangular and we thought that Hasbro might do like a side spin-off Marvel Legends line where they are battle damaged.
Oh, I don't know.
It's possible. I mean, it's not something that's not possible at all. It all depends. I mean, they would have to be able to obviously put out more than just one. Like they'd have to like be able to reuse that tooling to do so, I think.
Yeah, I guess I wonder what sort of shape that would take, if it's the kind of thing where it's like they just want like damaged versions of popular characters. Honestly, it's like you can they've kind of done a little bit of that sort of thing with some of the interchangeable parts on, like, you guys remember the 12-inch Wolverine they put out like a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of had like a torn up mask and like a chewed up shoulder pad, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them maybe doing those kind of things for like maybe a deluxe kind of figure or something that calls for it. But yeah, you never really know what they've got up their sleeve.
And yeah. I kind of want to say that we've already been slowly having it. I mean, if you think back to the Sandman Build-A-Figure, his face was half, and we didn't even get regular hands. We got different hands. And now we got the Love Triangle pack that comes with the damaged Wolverine. I think they know that we can incorporate it on certain figures, even to say the Hulk figure that came out, the gray one with the torn shirt, and the other one that was in the other pack. Like, that's extra that we usually, we always just got a Hulk. Now we're getting a
Yeah.
torn shirt. Do you see what I'm saying?
Or
I think
even
it's
the Peter Parker with the black
Yep.
eye from the Craven 2-pack.
Correct.
Mhm.
Do you see what I'm saying? I think they're slowly just putting it into the wild that it doesn't have to be a spin-off. I think they know the collector type out there and what we would actually like to see and how well it would fit with a character. You know, we're
Yeah.
not going to get a battle damaged just,
Torso and all that.
yeah. Like, of course you hit it right with bringing out Sandman that way with, having it Wolverine. Like we said, the Peter Parker head with the black eye. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so I think it's been there, and maybe they know to step it up a little bit. Rectangular answered as far as the deluxe figures, and maybe because like that Black Widow that we're getting with the whole stand and effects and everything, maybe if they could see that if we're purchasing the deluxe figures, it may broaden it more than just stands and effects into
Yeah.
getting different faces and heads and maybe even more battle damage clothing.
Yeah, I remember they did that on they put that on a 12-inch Daredevil as well. The one that came out with the black eye. He had like
Oh
that really cool.
yes, true.
Yeah, so when they've done it, it's been really, really cool. It's just an idea of whether or not that's the kind of thing that they can incorporate going forward. I mean, I know they like doing that. I know that those guys like to be able to. They want to add, value to whatever they're doing. So I think it's more just a case of like if it sort of fits the character. Like if you have characters like Spidey or Daredevil, Wolverine that are sort of known for getting roughed up and beat up and stuff like that. Like I think they're going to be into it.
Well, I think definitely it would only work with like super popular characters too.
Correct.
Like obviously, like you said, like your Spider-Man, your Wolverine, maybe Captain America, maybe some like battle damaged armor for Iron Man, something like that. I think that would ideally be, if you were going to do like a whole wave of like battle damaged, characters, that would ideally be what you would probably get.
Yeah, I think it's cool for them to just at least try and incorporate and just keep doing the interchangeable parts and interchangeable heads, because it's like ultimately I think what people sort of gravitate to is being able to make the choice themselves. Being able to say like, this is how I want to display it.
Right.
So I think as long as it makes sense for the character, I'm totally game for that kind of thing. I remember my old Toy Biz battle damage Spider-Man from the early Spider-Man Classics line. I love that stupid thing.
Yeah, or even like way, way far back in the old Toy Biz days.
5-inch.
Yeah, with the Wolverine. I love that figure.
That's right.
Man, I loved that figure.
Oh, that's right. I wanted to tell you guys. Yeah, I listened to your previous episode wherever you guys were all hating on No Nose Wolverine.
Oh yeah. The
I gotta
Caveman
let you know,
one.
I love Caveman Wolverine. I'm down. If they want to do like No Nose Wolverine, sign me up.
Well, no, that's where you might misunderstand there. I'll buy any and every Wolverine figure they put out. Like if they put out Caveman Wolverine, I'll buy Caveman Wolverine. That's just the way it's going to be. But if I had a choice, like I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I'm also a huge fan of Wolverine in general too. So it's like it doesn't take much arm twisting to get me to buy another Wolverine. But
yeah,
I remember listening to that one and be like, oh man, I'm so sad.
I bought 3 of the Mafex Wolverine just because I wanted to open 2 because I want to like customize the neck on one of it to paint the neck so that when
get a flesh colored neck.
Yeah, so that when his mask is off, it looks like it's off.
I'm really loving everything that they do. Mafex is really doing a great job. I cannot wait to get my hands on their Hush Batman
or the Hush Catwoman they just dropped today.
I might pass on that just because I'm trying to, like, they're so expensive. I'm trying to keep everything like very much like classic A-list, so I have to kind of just be like, no, not today, kind of with those things. But
she looks really nice though.
Yeah, she looks fantastic. I mean,
the
figure looks great. It's more like, no, I gotta save my pennies for tooling up Mortal Ruin.
And is it me, or do you guys feel that they've stepped up their games with promo picks?
You talking about Mafex in general?
Yeah, and just all companies around now.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like
I mean, those pictures, like that's what everybody depends on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and instead of getting our standard little poses that everybody's been doing, like that close-up shot of her coming up to you with the claws,
Yeah.
that's a nice figure.
Honestly, and this is something that's kind of cool, is like, speaking as somebody who works sort of in the toy industry, we are influenced by what collectors do in their photography. Like when we see people out there showing the figures the way we want to actually see them depicted, it's something that is like, it shows that, like, oh, there's a better way to portray these things. It gets people more excited, more interested. So when guys like Sergeant Bananas and D Amazing, when they're out there like showing these figures,
Sergeant
in
Bananas, who's that?
he's a very dear friend of mine. Sorry, excuse me, I dropped that name there. He when we see those dudes doing that kind of stuff, it's like it really sort of feeds into like a nice way to sort of celebrate and show how we want the thing to be depicted. There's
Exactly.
nothing worse than when you see like a reviewer put the figure down, like in the in the image or in the video, and like the arm is twisted and the ankles are funky looking. It's like, no, please don't do that. We articulated it so it looks good in any pose. Don't make it look all like janky like that, please.
That's what I always tell Johnny.
Yeah.
As long as he listens to me, his shots come out right. So
Nice.
It's funny. He posted that Magneto and Wolverine picture, and I immediately hit him up. I was like, okay, like seriously, I need a print of that.
Nice.
Like, I definitely need a print of that, because that.
I have a question for you, Ernesto. Like, because most of the stuff that you buy carded, are you buying online primarily, or you got to go into the store and find it?
Am I buying online?
Yeah.
No, very seldom. I'll get my pre-order in. I'm
basically
I'm a twofer.
Sure.
I need one for the wall, which is going to be my nice crispy box and not messed up or anything, and then one that I could eventually open.
Because what do you do? What do you do when you get one that just has like really derpy eyebrows or something like that? Like,
oh no, yeah. See, I'm inside, looking on the pegs. Exactly.
So it's like you'll just do like compare everything, and if it's like, what if it's the only one in the store? Like, what do you do?
I gotta pass on it.
You're that hardcore.
Yeah, because it's gotta look good hanging up. Okay, this $9 Overwatch 2-pack that I got today, I just didn't grab it and walk away. I went through 4 of them.
Yeah,
because there was
away from all 4 of them.
There was a dot on his chest. The other girl, her face had an eyebrow actually painted on the glasses.
Oh, see, that's the kind of stuff I love.
Even though I'm getting it for $9, it wasn't just a $9 buy.
Yeah,
I need them to look good.
It's got to be pristine. You got to remind me, because like I think Adam was really wanting you guys to say like where you're actually going to be tomorrow. But when we actually
we'll reveal that. We will.
No problem. I just remind me at some point. I have something I need to show you that is like one of my all-time treasures. Okay. And when it comes to like, because I don't buy anything mint, but I've kept this figure mint because it's just such a horror show when it comes to like a face tampo going off. As it is now, when I see that kind of thing, when I see something that is like a really bad misprint or something that is so bad, I actually seek them out. And I love that stuff because it's kind of like, imagine like you're walking along in the woods and you see a unicorn, and then you get up close to the unicorn and it's like cross-eyed.
Right.
That is the coolest thing in the whole world to me. So like when I come across that kind of thing in the wild, I'm just like, oh, I found another one.
So you must have grabbed a lot of gambits then, huh?
Actually, I ordered Gambit online and I got a good one. I lucked out.
Oh, I saw somewhere like literally the eye was like not even painted in.
That happens frequently, and my skill set is highly abused because people will just hand me their misprinted heads or reject bad paint jobs and just ask me to repaint it for them.
Oh, hey man.
And I'll just shrug my shoulders and be like, okay. Yeah, I work with a ton of other toy designers and toy collectors, so it's like that's just how it works.
Yeah, so when I'm buying online and it gets sent, I get real mad when you get that famous Amazon in a pouch in the bag.
Yeah, and it's all
You
dinged
know,
up.
yeah, your Marvel Legends. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to the store for this one. I mean, it's
Yeah,
cool because they're still 19.99, which is
sure.
awesome. And it kind of, but I mean, Amazon is a 50-50 shot.
Yeah,
Half the time I get it in unexpectedly, of course, when a bill is supposed to be due, or I get the cancel notice and everybody else has gotten theirs, and now I'm hunting for it.
nice.
So it's even at the point though, even the wife knows.
Mm.
Oh, I did see Luke on the shelf for you, but his eyes were messed up, so I didn't grab him. So
She's got it
I
down. I remember going back,
yeah
and I used to do that too, where it's like I would take one figure down, and you would almost do like a little tournament with them, where it's like, okay, process of elimination. You compare these two, and whichever one is better out of those two goes on to the next round, and then eventually you'll end up with the best one. You know,
Oh,
top.
I love it when that happens, when I have the opportunity to do that.
Well, see, this was back in the day, like Toy Biz Marvel Legends stuff, when I was like, hunting, and figures were like $7 or $8 a pop. Now it's more just like, no, I'm going home. I'm just gonna pre-order it if I feel like it.
it's so funny that you say that, Beardy. Okay, here's my
That's
perfect
totally how it works.
here's my total toy hunting day. Okay,
Yeah,
I hit up my 8 Walgreens. I've hit up all the 3 Targets and Walmarts. I've got everybody's list. I got Cheney stuff. I got
yeah,
Darth Moocher. He's on here with us. He's Star Wars.
that's a
What's
really
up,
good name.
Marco?
Marco.
And Mike's, Scott's. I got Cheney's. I got mine, and now I'm laying them all on the table.
You like
And
how
now
he
I have
said
to go
my name
look.
twice? He said my name twice in there because he has to make sure he gets my stuff.
Yeah, you got double coverage.
Yeah.
And this is it. This is what I'm saying. I'm looking at Cheney's, and I have to look and see. Okay, good paint, messed
Hmm.
up box. Okay, that's Cheney's because he's going to open it.
Yeah, because you have everybody's priorities. Like, you know what's up with,
Yes,
you know what
absolutely.
everybody's tastes are. Oh, see, that's very considerate.
Okay, here's Marco's Mandalorian. Here's mine. Ooh, that has a scratch on it.
Yeah,
Ooh, no,
yeah.
my window's
See,
clear. Okay,
yeah.
here you go, Marco. Like that.
In my case, it would be like, oh, like, well, one of the heads is falling off and it's like rolling around in the corner of the box. That one's good for me. Like, I'm cool. I'm
And
just
then
gonna
here it
fix it
is
anyway.
somebody hitting me up. Hey, Ernie, did you have any extra things? I needed a thing. There's
Yeah,
that Amazon in the mail one. Yeah, I got a
yeah,
thing.
yeah. You can have this one. It's
Here
trash.
you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see. I see. Yeah, you do have. You have like a concierge, sort of like catered Marvel Legends hookup service.
Yeah, you got to know everybody's priorities and what everybody's out there looking for.
Nice.
You
Yeah,
That is
know, so
Rectangular
classy.
said he's very very much a uh, harsh judgment on paint.
Oh, sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm very forgiving because I end up just repainting a lot of stuff anyway. I mean, it's like it can be, totally cockeyed or something like that, and I'll just completely redo it once I get it in hand.
see, and that's cool for you, like you said about the whole tail thing. And okay, well, you can
Yeah,
just go
yeah,
home and fix that. And then there's somebody like me who it's got to be perfect in the box. And then Cheney,
yeah,
who's looking for the perfect, look of everything because he needs to pose it 10 different ways for his shots.
yeah.
That's, you know, that that's awesome.
You're
And
there's some things that we have planned for Moral Ruin that might drive you a little bit insane, but possibly in a good way.
well, here's the thing: everybody flipped out on all the articulated icon stuff that I
Yeah.
got because I was like, yeah, no, the box is cool, but ninjas, I love ninjas.
Oh, so you had to
These
open
are
them.
these are out and about. Oh yeah, when I was
Yeah.
growing up as a kid, I told people that I was going to be a ninja when I grew up.
Oh, see, yeah.
I
It's
mean,
got
I am, but I just don't put it out there like
you're just
that.
a toy ninja.
Yeah. So no, I do
That is
love.
so accurate. It's not even funny. That is the best thing ever. Oh my god. Can we
What?
just rewind that and play that again, Beardy? He's a what?
He's a toy ninja.
Exactly.
I am, and
Yeah.
then when I see a good box and everything too, I love that. I love
Yeah.
Velcro window boxes
Oh, sure. Yeah, with a lot of the stuff that NECA's been doing with that.
too. Yeah, more so mine came from the old redoing of the Chinese Transformers.
Oh, sure.
The old ones, and they had the drawings on it and on the back, and then you open it up and you had everything. Those are, to me, that's even more for an inbox collector. But then I
Yeah.
get freaked out as our talk was going on earlier, like about this, the running change on the Vulture. How am I supposed to see that now to have each one
in the box? How would you know?
Right. I can't.
Well, it's like if it's not going to be open anymore, does it really matter? It's kind of like a if a tree falls in the woods kind of deal. Like,
yeah. So I'm really gonna be looking online for somebody to point out. Okay, well, if he has
anything that has a mistake,
this type of or if the number stamped on it is an 8, not a 7, you have this one. Okay,
gotcha.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I saw a thing where there's actually a what is it, the UPC number or some number on the packaging that's the difference.
See, that's what I was going for. You know, that stamped number. That's probably what it is.
Yeah. So
I'll have to check
I'll find it. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. Well, we also had that Captain America from Mayfix too. They showed pictures of that. Yeah. That looked nice, man.
It does look really good. That's one of the other things is I'm pretty lucky in that I don't really buy a lot of movie figures because they change the movie look every 5 seconds, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's like I tend to want to go for something that's like a little bit more iconic, but I can't knock quality on these things. They look awesome.
Okay, and I love the accessories that he's coming with, but I do have a question. Why 4 shields?
4?
Yeah, the picture of the accessory shows 4 shields, and then the whatchamacallit, the staff and the blade for what's her name?
Okay, so yeah, what the deal is with that is he has it's the 4 shields. One of them just has the extra little bladed tip, kind of like, you know, sticking out. So it's like one is it's either that there's 2 shields and the shields are articulated, or it's 4 shields and instead of articulating it, they just made the shield collapse and shield not collapse.
Right.
Because he's got like this, he's got like his shield like on the arm version and then like on the fisticuffs version kind of thing.
Okay, I didn't notice that until you said it right now.
Yeah, it's only because I worked on that design before. Like, that's what that design looks like. Yeah, when he has the Black Panther shields on his arm.
Right.
And I thought the collapsed version and the not collapsed version.
What a plus too to get the Corvus Glaive staff and then the Proxima staff as well too.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at those pictures on Big Bad right now, actually.
Because even if you, I'm checking them out on toymigos.com.
Oh, I've heard of that website.
Yeah, that's where I'm checking out right now. And then, you know, because even if you order this figure, you can still throw those with the Marvel Legends ones.
Yeah.
And look nice. But no,
that's that cohesion, man. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants everything to go together.
And it's funny as having you guys on the show. I mean, there was even questions in there. You know, Rectangular asked who did the Hulk.
Renee.
And Renee said he did. Right, correct. That you guys, you know, at Gentle Giant put this out for everybody to do and everything. Like you said, this big cohesion of everything. It's awesome to hear that of what you guys have done and played with. And Adam alluded to a pre-order up of a new Diamond Select that possibly was done by you guys.
We'll never know. It's a mystery for the ages. Yeah.
So that's way awesome. That's cool.
Yeah. It's a real trip working on this stuff and getting to see, like, because that is one of the things that sort of does affect my toy buying, is that it's a little harder to get excited about new things, because by the time everybody else gets to see it, it's kind of been like chewed on for 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
If you can imagine, like there's spoilers and things like that will come through most of the time out of context. So you'll see something that spoils some element of a movie, but you not necessarily know exactly like what part of the movie it is or which movie or which series it's part of. But that is one of the things where it's like, oh, it's a little harder to get excited about stuff, because especially when you work on it, you're like, oh, I remember that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the time it actually comes out, it's like, oh, that's finally rolling around. Okay, cool.
Have you ever seen something show up on the screen that was different than what they gave you guys?
As far as like, Um,
And it may be a blade, something added to it, or a color.
the what happens, and this is an interesting thing for a lot of the film designs, is if you're working on a character like in the Avengers or something like that, you're working on the Hulk, and he's an entirely CGI character. They will be changing the designs of that character right up until the movie is going to be released. So it's a very frequent thing for us when people might be working on a figure or a sculpture or for an upcoming movie, especially with movie designs. We'll get concept art with as much lead time as possible from the client, and the concept art will be changing as we're working on the figure. So
Wow.
it's happening. It happens all the time, where we'll get concept art for it was a real big thing with Thor Ragnarok. Those designs were changing a lot in that movie. I remember that one in particular, but it was like we would have concept art and sculptors are working on it, and it's basically like, yeah, but what does Thor's back look like? Because you can't ever actually see. And then somebody will get their piece into submission with the client or with Marvel, and then it has to go through approvals and run up the ladder through them, and then it's not an infrequent thing for them to make changes on the fly. Like they'll be like, oh, here we have updated reference for you, and it's completely different, and so somebody has to go back in and resculpt everything.
Yeah, so that
So yeah,
you walk in and you go, yeah, so all of that you've been working on, like
yeah,
diligently,
yeah,
and
it's a thing.
it looks amazing, just like what they wanted. They
Yeah,
changed it, and it looks nothing like that anymore. So you got to start all over again, and
no,
you
yeah,
got to
that's
work
why like
faster.
one of the big things that people end up having to do when they do these is like we end up having to do sort of like a first pass, a first look on everything, and you try and just represent as much as you can in terms of the detail and get it into their hands as quickly as possible, so that you're covered in case anything changes. So that while it's going through approvals, while it's going through changes, you'll have time to actually work out other design kinks, articulation, or other things like that, because it's very, very common for designs on movie stuff to change like as we're working on it. Did you guys see like the two Marvel Select Hulks that Diamond put out? Did you guys ever see those ones where there's like one that came with the Infinity Gauntlet and a tracksuit, and then one that's like a slightly different tracksuit?
Yeah.
Um, the,
The
that
one's Disney
literally,
store and one's not, right?
yeah, that was literally like a perfect example of that kind of thing happening, where we got to figure all the way up through development, all the way up through approvals, and that takes weeks to months of development time, and then it literally gets into approvals, and then it's like about to be approved, and they're like, oh well, it's the design has changed, here's a new one. And it's basically like, well, sorry, we still made this figure. And because yeah,
Wow.
Diamond was lucky enough that they have a great relationship with Disney, they were actually able to get that thing developed. But that kind of stuff happens all the time. And this
That's
is one of the
crazy.
great things about Mortal Ruin is we don't have to deal with any of that.
Yeah, yeah. You guys were like,
No,
this
Renee
is
just
what
has
it's
to.
going to be.
Well, Renee just has to put up with me and Adam, hemming and hawing about what kind of neck articulation we want, or whether or not to do the fingers, the trigger fingers out this much or out that much. Just that kind of silly stuff.
Okay, I wanted to go ahead and open up the chat to questions. So if you guys have any questions for Mr. Beardy here or myself and Ernie, go ahead and put them in the chat.
I'll
And
scroll up and see if I see anything.
yeah, and then we'll wrap this thing up here after the
While
question
everybody's
segment.
knocking out their questions and getting them ready, was everybody able to pre-order the Black Widow exclusives?
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
We got a Target white suit, and then we got the Walmart gray suit,
You mean the May Shelf gray suit?
the May Shelf gray suit, and these brand new smoke effects. What do you think of those?
I like all the accessories and stuff.
I thought for sure you weren't going to be able to wait to throw it on a Wolverine smoking a cigar.
You already know that.
Is that the sculptor shelf Wolverine?
The Well, no, the smoke effects that come for the gauntlets for Black Widow.
Uh-huh.
You could.
But you want to use it. Which Wolverine head are you talking about?
Oh, probably the only one that I have a cigar for would be the Sculptor Shelf one for sure.
I painted that.
So you're the one.
Nope.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. It was done by the White Ninja.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what do we got here. Everybody got their questions ready?
Let's see.
Adam wants to know how many people I had to sleep with to get to where I am. A lot.
Okay.
Yeah, several.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about where we're going tomorrow, Ernie.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait. I'm not even gonna sleep.
Yeah. These fine gentlemen here invited us to come down and check out the Gentle Giant Studios tomorrow. So
yeah.
Ernie and myself will be heading down there and checking everything out. So we will take pictures of what we're allowed to and post them. So
there will be there's a lot of really cool stuff in the lobby for you guys to check out with that kind of thing. You could pose with life-size Chewie, life-size Jabba the Hutt.
Oh my God, don't even get...
I'll give you guys an excellent tour of the kitchen.
Wait. I can't wait.
You guys can check out the lunchroom.
Oh, the lunchroom.
And
I
we
can't
have
wait.
one of our 6 bathrooms.
Ooh.
It's gonna be awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Adam wants to know who my favorite coworker is. Let me see. I'm gonna go with, this isn't gonna make sense to anybody, but I'm gonna say it's gotta be Steven Casa. Steven Casa is probably where it's at. I know what Adam's referring to. I know what he's saying.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take the bait. I refuse.
Mervine says, is there a possible crossover between Mortal Ruin and the Cursed Deadline?
There was a crossover happening just a couple of weeks back in my kitchen when I was working on both at the same time. No, I should totally get into that. It's been super awesome working on the Cursed Dead. I've been a huge fan of Phil Ramirez's stuff for a very, very long time. And getting to work on that is also super, super cool. So although Mortal Ruin is my baby, it's super fun to babysit as well. I really enjoy working on that stuff with those guys. And actually, I got some more stuff like right now that I have to start working on for them as well.
Nice.
Yes.
I can't wait to see that werewolf all painted up.
Yeah, I hope the toy gods smile upon me. I get to work on that one too. Phil did let me pick. He let me pick which one I wanted out of the 2 that they were showing gray, whether or not it was Pig, Lord Pig, or the werewolf. And I chose Pig just because it's a little bit weirder, a little bit more up my alley. But I'm honestly I think both of those are super rad, and I'm super happy to work on them.
Okay, Rectangular wants to know if you've ever asked Dwight from Hasbro why they can't print the serial numbers on the bottom of the feet instead of the back of the leg.
Yeah, they always put that little Tampo serial right on the back of the thigh. And you know what? Being a painter, most of the time I'm able to just remove that, no problem. So I've never actually asked Dwight that. Most of the time when I ask Dwight for stuff, I'm always asking for a new Sabretooth figure.
Well,
honestly, every time I ask Dwight for anything, I just like, hey, how about a new Sabretooth?
Here's a good one for you, Beardy. Rejected Dune wants to know, and it goes into what you just said too. Do you recommend what brush do you recommend for touching up the eyes on figures?
Oh, okay. There's, if you want to just like a go-to brush, there's a brand that's called Master Stroke that you can get from Blick. It's a pretty decent brush, and I would recommend something like maybe a 00 Master Stroke. And then if you want to go kind of nuts, there's a brand called Winsor Newton Series 7. They're a little bit more expensive, not super crazy, but they're nice, and they'll get the job done, just about every time. But if you practice enough, you get good enough, you can paint really, really good things with really, really crappy tools. So just practice.
There's also like multiple tutorials for like painting eyes and painting figures online.
Yeah,
too.
I should really do I should do that sometime for somebody, even just with like pictures or something like that.
Oh
Because
man, yeah,
I've
you
kind of got it
really
down.
should.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some tricks that I could definitely show that would make things a lot easier for people. Because I when I one of the big things working on at Gentle Giant was WWE for Mattel, and there must have been, I don't know, a 2-3 year stretch where that was like literally one of the things I was doing all the time, was just painting faces for WWE a million times over. I painted so many Cenas and Triple H's, like it was crazy. Totally.
Yeah.
So Mervine asked, "Is there any chance for a Man Bat style figure from Cursed Dead?" Um,
Is there
see,
a chance? There's totally a chance for something crazy
there,
like that, but I'm
yeah,
not the one who can actually give a real answer.
yeah.
I
Adam
mean,
would
I would love to
be,
see it.
yeah, Adam would be the one to ask.
Yeah, Adam, Phil and Mares, and or Josh Falcon would be your people to hit up about that kind of thing. If you have requests, just tell them I said so.
Yeah, send that
Say
to,
Beardy wants a man bat.
yeah, send that to the Cursed Dead Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darth Moocher, Marco, have you checked out the Cursed Dead stuff? Because that's like right down your alley, man.
Yeah, look it up
Mm.
right now, Marco. I'll you know what? I'm going to tag him on the
Yeah, just
page right
tag
now,
him.
Marco, on
Yeah,
Instagram,
yeah.
so he can
He
see the Cursed Dead
loves,
stuff
he's like a
and
huge
the
horror
Mortal Ruin
movie.
stuff.
Yeah, he's a huge like horror movie guy.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Everybody hit up all those things.
yeah. Um, let's see. Any more questions? Do we have any more questions here?
Yeah.
People are liking the idea of these little tutorials.
Yeah, no, that's a genius idea. Actually, you
Yeah,
should
that Toy
definitely
Migo
do that.
exclusive right here. I
Yeah,
mean, you need an outlet. You need an outlet to show it.
yeah.
I should do something because like it's weird because it's gonna make it the kind of thing where it's super super easy for me, but I've done it a bazillion times. I'm not sure what Renee is asking me. Renee keeps asking me why. Why what? Why? Why not Bud Dry? I don't know. I'm not sure what Renee is
Uh,
saying. I'll have to clear it up.
Uncanny Assassin says, any thoughts on doing a comic or animated series centered on your figs to create more of a universe and lore?
That's the kind of thing that's sort of cool about it is once we've got this developed IP, once we've kind of got this thing that exists, the intellectual property is going to be wholly owned by me and my buds here. So it's the kind of thing that is rife for publishing and further development, whether it's, and you never know like where it's going to go or anything like that, but that's the whole idea, is to build a story that comes along with it. Because it's very easy to just make a soldier figure or make something like that, but it's not really intellectual property unless it has those character elements and story elements kind of backing it. It's kind of like what's Superman without Clark Kent story or without Krypton. So that kind of thing has to sort of be at least part of the goal, because one of the things I know for sure that we would really really like to do at least is if we get the thing off the ground and it's successful like we hope it is, I would imagine one of the first things that we would probably want to develop is an art book that kind of shows a lot more behind the scenes of the development of the figures, and then can showcase photos and art from other people developing it, or other people taking pictures and customizing it, and just kind of making something that is like a thank you to the community.
Heck
That
yeah.
would be something I would really like to do.
Yeah, that'd be
Thunder
really awesome.
Thundercrow had a question for you, sir. If you weren't a toy creator, what would be your next best creative occupation?
Creative occupation, probably interpretive dance.
Nice.
Wow.
No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Nice.
No, I don't know. I would have to be. It would have
With streamers.
um. Yeah, I can go
Yes.
streamer.
Okay.
Streamers is where it's at.
Yeah.
I've been known to
Nice.
stream. No, if I didn't have to have that caveat of it being a creative thing, I'd probably work with animals,
And
something like that.
then Rectangular wanted to know if you would want to see 6-inch Dune figures.
Yeah, I do not pick and choose when it comes to what properties are out there. I want all of that stuff.
Mervine says, so when he sees the Mortal Ruin prototypes, it makes him think Acid Rain, but in the 6-inch scale.
Yeah.
Would there be any chances for vehicles down the line?
I would say that, of course, there is a chance. It's a minute chance just because vehicles would be so big.
Right.
But in our development stuff, in our story stuff, we do have cool ideas for you know skiffs and motorcycle types and things of that nature that wouldn't necessarily break the bank on tooling, but it's the kind of thing where it would be something that we would love to be able to do.
Basically, the answer to that, Mervine, is when this thing kicks off,
Buy it.
basically spend as much money as you possibly can on it.
See, this is where I wish I could have had some links and stuff like that, because we've got some cool sort of influential sort of concept art stuff for a lot of the things that are there for our own development purposes. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we can actually produce them or make them, but some of the concept stuff for urban tanks and mechanized like crawling vehicles and
well, go ahead and send me those links, and when this releases, I'll put the links in.
Well, yeah,
if possible.
Rider Series Hawkeye. I don't
Legendary
remember what that
Riders.
one looked like. What did he have? Did he have like the Avengers?
He had like his Hawkeye, like kind of like.
I can say we didn't sculpt. I don't think we did that one, but we did do a Hawkeye on his little Avengers little skiff years and years ago as a statue.
Oh, okay.
But no, I don't think we did that one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, from Toy Biz, that's the one he's talking about.
Oh no, that wouldn't have been us. Toy Biz stuff was primarily Bill Ramirez and Dave Cortez at that time. I gotta remember. Yeah, that was right. That was the series where everybody was coming with little vehicles, right?
Yeah, it had Scarlet Witch and Hulkbuster and what was it? Who else? It was Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, the Hulkbuster, Ghost Rider, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the rest.
Yeah. Oh, Toy Biz.
First appearance thing.
If I could do any design, create any license, which would it be and what scale?
Ooh, that's a good
actually,
question.
Cheney, we talked to about this a little bit on the floor. If I could do anything, it would be Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh,
and
yes.
It would be 6-inch, and you would do like essentially like a wave supported by like a cool Calvin variant as an anchor. So you can do like Calvin, then you could do Spaceman Spiff. Like you could do all the different iterations of Calvin and different iterations of Hobbes. And then you could just put other cool figures in, like some of the dinosaurs or the snowmen. And it would be a very cool little like, homage to a comic strip that I loved. And I mostly would want to do it because it's impossible to do. It's just one of those things that like nobody can touch it.
Yeah.
But I would love to do that. That would be something that would be great. And if we're coming back down to earth on something that's a little bit more realistic, it would absolutely be Conan the Barbarian, full on a sort of evergreen kind of Conan line where it's basically like you treat Conan as if he's Batman, and then every wave has a Conan and some rogues in it.
Ooh, nice.
And you do movie Conan, you do comic Conan, you do Frazetta Conan,
Veiny Conan.
Veiny Conan.
Okay.
You do
Ultra veiny Conan.
Ultra veiny.
You do all the Conans. You do Cheney Conan, Veiny Conan. It'd be awesome.
Nice. I like it.
Adam also knows my fantasy. A Mad Max Fury Road would be the way up there.
Nice.
Yeah, very, very much like that film.
All right. Do you have any questions, Ernie?
Am I allowed to borrow the Boba Fett statue?
No.
You're talking about, well, we do have
the huge one. I could put it right in my yard while you guys wait for Comic-Con.
You probably will have to pay for the crating and shipping, which might price you out a little bit.
No, I got homies who can take care of that.
Yeah, then we'll just
take a case of beer and they got it.
Well, yeah, we can. Yeah, you'll have to just kind of have like a shopping cart or something to like kind of if you can figure out. Yeah, if you can figure out some way. Actually, yeah, that thing is in pretty rough shape. It's one of the older pieces in the building. It's actually picture a giant minibus. And it's made out of foam. I've touched that thing up a bazillion times. I love it, and I also hate it.
You're just
I love it.
Time to go paint Boba again.
It's super cool. You guys will like it when you see it in person. It's a crazy thing to see, just because it's like, man, how did they make that? But
Mervine said, how can he get one of those oversized Kenner figures they used to have at the Disneyland parks?
Like the Star Wars Kenner jumbos?
That's what, yeah.
I believe there's a website called eBay.
No, the statue ones? Don't you guys sell those ones? Like the 6-foot ones?
Oh, like the gigantic ones.
Yes.
I don't know how you buy that.
Thank you, Reject of Doom.
We have those. We have some in the shop. You guys will see them full on vinyl capes and everything. Like those things are rad. Yeah, I don't know how you probably have to shell out like $5,000 and know somebody. I mean, like that's really the answer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well then. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Sure. I really like to rub in the fact that my show is more entertaining than Adam's.
Yeah, yours was popping, man.
Yeah. So yeah, take that, Mr. Toy King. I'm the president of toys.
Yeah.
Oh,
my bad. Mervine was talking about the carded ones.
Oh yeah. So if he's just talking about jumbos, yeah, you just gotta scour for them. There's some cool ones out there for sure.
So is there anywhere we can keep up with you at?
No, you guys are lucky to nail me down. I keep a very, very low profile, especially on social media and stuff like that. But if you guys are interested in what I'm doing, just follow Mortal Ruin on Instagram and Facebook.
There you go.
Check out Cursed Dead for sure. And then if there's anything I do that's cool, it's going to be on Adam's page anyway. So follow that dude. Just follow him. I don't do it for the likes. I do it for the love.
All right.
Yeah, so at Mortal Ruin on Instagram.
Yeah, at Mortal Ruin. If you ever see Adam referring to Beardy, that's me. I'm Beardy, everybody.
He is the bearded man.
Yeah. I keep a low profile by design. It's so much easier that way.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I don't have to deal with anything. It's great. All I get to do is just make the stuff and let it be out there. I don't have to worry about what anybody thinks or says. It's a good way to be.
Yeah, I think your episode actually is done better than even Dee's episode.
Oh, poor Darius.
Well, you have to rub that in.
Yeah, Darius was in a little bit of like an Adam Beardy sandwich, huh?
Yeah.
He's like in between.
Yeah.
I guess that's not a bad place to be.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
but
no, it's
considering how famous he is. I mean, this is great.
Yeah. I should put it out there. I do have a super top secret Instagram account, but I don't follow anybody and nobody follows me. And until I decide to do otherwise, I'll keep it like that.
Okay, well that sounds
Yeah.
good.
So I can be a toy ninja, just like my hero Ernesto.
Man, it's gonna be my new name now.
Yep. All right. So be sure to check out the Raw Live and Unedited Podcasting Network with such amazing shows as.
The Sarlacc Digest.
Also, be sure to check out Rectangular's YouTube channel with the latest and greatest Marvel Legends news. Be sure to check out D Amazing's YouTube channel with the latest Mezco and import action figure reviews. Check out the Foosh with Robo because he's simply amazing. For your cloth clothing figure needs, make sure to check out cjsem.com. If you're looking for a hookup on an import figure, be sure to check out Supreme Collector. If you're in the UK, be sure to check out Toy Trash. And if you're in the local area, check out Line Breakers. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and toymigos.com. We also still have the shop open if you want to get anything there. And we're still going to be doing the. You guys don't know about it yet, but as of tomorrow, you'll know. But we're going to be doing the hashtag to help me do the thumbnails for the show, which is going to be hashtag ToyMigoThumb. So make sure to tag that in your pictures if you want a chance to have your picture featured as a thumbnail for our show. Other than that, I would like to thank you so much for hopping on with us, Beardy. It's been a great time.
Yeah, man, it's been my pleasure.
I can't really think of anything I'd want to sit here and talk about more other than toys.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we should do it again sometime. Maybe get me and Adam both on here or something like that. Yeah, it's going to be real fun to keep you guys updated and help keep promoting the thing and just keeping the whole community going at the same time. It's been a real blast.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got it.
And I want to thank everybody that came on to hop on with us live tonight. Thank you so much. And tomorrow, last week's episode will go up. So hopefully this one will go up sooner than this week. So there is that. But thanks everybody so much. I am Cheney 180.
I'm the Fallen Fett.
Thanks everybody.
And he is Beardy. And remember, guys, they're not dolls.